This is my 4-member audience for my speech that is due at 12:18 on 12/18 at 11:59 p.m. Hello, my name is Kayla Darty, and my topic for today is the controversy over the fake translator that was at Nelson Mandela's memorial. On December 12, 2013, world leaders gathered to honor Nelson Mandela since he had passed. And then they had also hired a sign language translator to translate to South African sign language for the South African deaf community. The New York Times put out an article called "A Fake Sign Language Interpreter" that was written by Nicholas Kolish, John Elgin, and Alan Cowell. And the translator that was used for this event was named Thamsanqa Junji. He was not qualified, and because he was not qualified, there needs to be a test in place to make sure that the translator is qualified for big events that are broadcasted like this, and there needs to be greater respect paid to the deaf culture around the world. Thamsanqa Junji was clearly not qualified to be broadcasted worldwide, and in this New York Times article, Henrietta Bogopane-Zulu commented on the fact that Junji did not know English very well. And 29% of the South African community does know English, and according to their 2011 South African census. However, since Junji was supposed to be signing in South African Sign Language, he was supposed to know English and several other languages that were spoken that day. Sign language is not a universal language. Each country and region has its own individual sign language. And however, the grammar structure is very similar throughout each individual sign languages that are used worldwide. Facial expressions are one of the most important grammatical structures of the sign language culture. And South American Sign Language is the only sign language used in South Africa. The 5 parameters that are used in American Sign Language are also pretty common worldwide, just like facial expressions are very common. But however, Junji did not use hardly any facial expressions in his translation while he was on the air with all of the world leaders. To have this job as a translator, there should be some sort of test in place. And to be able to receive the job as a translator should be very hard to get. According to usnews.com, jobs as translators start at $45,000 a year. And Junji stated in this article that was quoted by the New York Times that he made $77 for the entire day. However, translators are normally paid $125 to $164 an hour while working on big events like this. Numerous world leaders spoke at this event. While some spoke English, others did not. Raul Castro, for example, from Cuba, he spoke Spanish, while Dilma Rousseff, the president of Brazil, spoke Portuguese. The test given by the planners of this event should recall how much sign language you know and how you know different languages to be able to translate 2 different sign languages around the world. There should also be a background check and mental health check for this person that should be hired to translate, not only for the respect of the deaf culture, but for the safety of our world leaders. The deaf community does deserve a lot more respect than what was given from this fake translator. The deaf community has gone through a lot of hardships to gain respect from the hearing community, while the effort that was given to put in place this translator was greatly appreciated. The appreciation subdued once he started signing and they realized he did not know what he was doing. Marlee Matlin, who is a prominent figure in the deaf culture around the world, was interviewed by CNN, and at first she said that she was so happy there was an interpreter there, but since she could tell that he did not know what he was doing, because he was not using facial expressions, she was very appalled once it had started. In the end, there needs to be a lot more respect for the deaf community out of this given. There needs to be a lot more detail paid to who is hired as a translator, and clearly Junji did not know what he was doing. However, this was also very disrespectful to Nelson Mandela as well. Thank you, everyone. And by the way, you're all going on YouTube.